Hello everyone, this is Saraswati Guidance and welcome to this brand new video presentation on lesson number 003 of Standard 7 History, Religious Synthesis. This video presentation has a new feature, revision time. It means after learning some new information, you are going to pause the presentation and then revise what we have learned so far. So please pause this presentation now and get a pen and a notebook. Whenever we shall have revision time, you are going to write down the questions appearing on this screen in your notebook and then solve those questions using the information you have learned previously in the presentation. This will help you memorize the information as well as make your knowledge firm in your mind. So pause this video right now and get a notebook and a pencil. Okay, now that you have a pen and a notebook, let's start the presentation without any further delay. Okay. Let's first understand what this chapter is all about. What is the intention of learning this lesson? For understanding this lesson, we must first understand the exact meaning of its title. The title of this lesson is Religious Synthesis. We know this. The word religious here means an atmosphere of religions. And the word synthesis here means creation. Revision time. Write down these questions in your notebook and try to answer these questions using the information we have just learned. Okay, moving on. Let's try to understand this concept first. The concept of religious synthesis. Today, India is famous in the entire world as a country where all religions live in peace. To the world, this is a miracle. Foreign travelers are often surprised to find so many religions in India living together without much problem. We can see followers of all religions living peacefully in India. We see Hindus worshipping in beautiful temples. We see Muslims kneeling together in mosques. We see Christians praying together in churches. Sikhs remember the teachings of their great gurus in gurudwaras. The Jains and the Buddhas meditate in vihars and derasars respectively. India also has Jews practicing Judaism and Parsis worshipping in their agyaris. Thus, each religion finds comfort and freedom in India. Most important of all, many religions which we see in India today were actually born in India. So, the word religious synthesis means a spiritual atmosphere where different religions take birth and start living together peacefully. There are special words in English language to describe such atmosphere of religious happiness. Religious harmony is one such phrase. Religious harmony means an atmosphere where all religions enjoy living together peacefully. But such religious harmony is not created in a single day or in a single month or even in a single century. It takes efforts made for many centuries to reach such great religious harmony. In this lesson, we are going to study such efforts. In this lesson, we are going to see how India has become a living place for all religions. Revision time. What is the meaning of the phrase religious synthesis in this lesson? Write down this question and try to answer it based on the information we have just learned. Now moving on. Beginning of religious ideas. The first religious ideas in India came from the most ancient religion in India, the Hindu religion. The Hindus believe that religion is a way to attain freedom from the cycle of birth and death and become one with the God. Hindu religion believes in existence of God everywhere. It essentially believes in a single positive power occupying everything in the universe. This power is known as Brahman. And if a person gets the knowledge of how he is part of the Brahman, then it is said that that person has received Brahmadhyan, that is the supreme knowledge. Hindus worship this single positive power in various forms of gods and goddesses. This worship goes on two levels: rituals and the Bhakti Marg or the Bhakti way. In rituals, we can see special actions done by the devotees to show their devotion to the god of their choice. Such special actions include performing of yajna or even just the lighting of a lamp and offering flowers to the idol of the god. The other way of worship is called Bhakti Marg, which means devotion without any formality. The followers of the Bhakti Marg believe that one can love and devote to God in any way. No special actions or acts are needed. One can sing a bhajan, chant a shlok, create a loving poem, or even simply sit in meditation. Bhakti Marg believes in devotion to God using common people's language, without giving undue importance to rituals, hierarchies of castes, etc. The Bhakti movement preaches values such as love of God, humanity to all, compassion and mercy, etc. Revision time. Write down these questions and try to answer these questions based on the information we have just learned. Origins of Bhakti Marg. It is believed that this Bhakti movement originated in South India. It began with two groups of saints called the Nayanars and the Alvars. Nayanars were a group of 63 devotees of saints living in Tamil Nadu during the 6th to 8th centuries CE who were devoted to Hindu god Shiva. The Alvars were Tamil poet saints of South India who were devotees of the Hindu god Vishnu or his avatar Krishna. Later on, efforts were made to bring these two devotees together by installing idols or murtis of Harihar. Hari means Vishnu while Har means Shiva. So, one half of the Harihar idol was Vishnu and the other half was Shiva. Revision time. As usual, try to answer these questions by writing them down in your notebook. This Bhakti movement was promoted by many saints and religious gurus in India. In this lesson, we are going to learn about such great personalities and their contribution to the religious synthesis in India. Acharya Ramanuj. He taught people that God is for all and he does not discriminate between people. Sant Ramanand. He further strengthened the Bhakti movement in the North India. पोथी पढ़ी पढ़ी जग मुआ पंडित बना न कोय ढाई आखर प्रेम का पढ़े सो पंडित होय, which means Just reading religious books doesn't make one wise. The one who understands the small word love is the wise one. Surely you have heard of dohas like these. The creators of such dohas was Sant Kabir. He was a very important figure in Bhakti movement. He did not attach any importance to places of pilgrimage, vratas, or idol worship. For him, truth was God. He taught that all human beings are equal. He did not believe in any differences based on caste, creed, sect, and religion. He also tried to bring unity in Hindus and Muslims by criticizing orthodox people from both these religions. Revision time. After you have answered the questions, let's move on. Spread of Bhakti movement. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He promoted the Bhakti movement through Krishna Bhakti, and his teachings crossed all boundaries of caste and creed. Shankardev. He was influenced by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and spread the Bhakti movement in Assam. Narsi Mehta. He did the same in Gujarat. He is known as the first poet of Gujarati language. He promoted the Bhakti movement through his ardent devotion to Krishna. She was and still is known as a great saint from Rajasthan. A member of the royal family of Mewat, she devoted herself totally to Krishna. Her bhajans teach values such as devotion, tolerance, and humanity even today. Sant Sena. He was a Hindu saint poet of the Warkari sect dedicated to the god Vithoba. Sant Rohidas. He was a poet saint, social reformer, and spiritual figure. Sant Sena and Sant Rohidas, both of these were influential saints from Maharashtra who gave message of equality. Sant Surdas. He was a great Hindi poet. Despite being blind in the eyes, he composed poems on Krishna, and a collection of these poems is known as Sursagar. Sant Ras Khan. His original name was Sayyid Ibrahim Khan, who wrote poetry under pen name of Ras Khan. After becoming influenced by the Bhakti movement, he became a Vaishnav, that is devotee of Vishnu, and then he spent his entire life at Vrindavan writing verses on Krishna Bhakti. Sant Tulsi Das. He is another famous saint from Bhakti movement who is famous for his devotion to the god Ram. He wrote many verses in Sanskrit and Awadhi. However, he is best known to the world as the author of the epic Ramcharitmanas. Ramcharitmanas is the Ramayana told in verses of Awadhi language. Revision time. Let's move on. Sant Basaveshwar. Remember, we are studying spread of Bhakti movement in India and the people or the saints who were responsible for this spread of Bhakti movement. Sant Basaveshwar. He spread the Bhakti movement in Karnataka. He was a saint of Lingayat stream of thought. Lingayats are devotees of Shiva. He is famous for his well known saying Kaya Kave Kailas, which means one's own work is God's worship. Sri Basveshwar taught his teachings in Kannada, which is the people's language in Karnataka even today. He insisted on men and women equality by starting religious discussions held in a hall called Anubhav Mantap, which is in Bidar district of Karnataka. His followers took his thoughts to Marathi language. A collection of these compositions is called Paramarahasya. Revision time. Beginning of Mahanubhav Panth. Mahanubhav means great persons. Panth means path. So, Mahanubhav Panth means following the path of great persons. Chakradhar Swami. He founded the Mahanubhav Panth in Maharashtra to bring together people following the Bhakti traditions. As he preferred to preach in Marathi instead of Sanskrit, Marathi developed as a language during his times. Many of his works were also composed in Marathi. The Mahanubhav sect mainly spread in Vidarbha and Marathwada regions of Maharashtra. But its reach was also felt in regions such as Punjab and even in Afghanistan. Some of the well-known compositions of Mahanubhav followers are Leela Charitra by Mahim Bhatt. It contains great deeds of Sri Chakradhar Swami. Dhavale by Mahadamba, who is known as the first Marathi poetess. Sutrapat and Drishtantapat by Keshavbas. It contains the actual spoken words of Sri Chakradhar Swami. Vachharan by Damodar Pandit. Shishupal Vadh by Bhaskar Bhatt Borikar. And Rukmini Swayamvar by Narendra. All these are tales from Mahabharat which admire the deeds of Sri Krishna. Revision time. The Sikhs. Guru Nanak. This great founder of the Sikh religion was the first Guru of the Sikhs. He visited holy places of all religious places of Hindus as well as Muslims, including the Makkah. He observed that the feeling of devotion does not change anywhere. He insisted on practicing a chaste behavior. The highest holy book of the Sikh religion, Adi Granth, contains compositions of Guru Nanak. But Guru Nanak was also large-hearted and humble to include compositions from many other saints in the Adi Granth. Revision time. The Sufis. Sufi is a sect in Islam. Sect means a collection of people who practice additional unique traditions in a religion. The Sufi saints believed that God is full of love and the only way to reach Him is through love and devotion. They taught love for all living beings, meditation and simple living. Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti and Sheikh Nizamuddin Auliya were great Sufi saints. The Sufis are also known for their great contribution to music. Today, famous singers like Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan and Abida Parveen are well known for their songs based on Sufi music. On your screen, Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan is on the left and Abida Parveen is on the right. Revision time. Here we come to the end of this presentation. Hope you have liked it. All the best to you all.